The following programme is a presentation of Jez Sports. Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the Main Event Podcast. It's been a while. It feels like it's been a very, very long time. But we are back. Yeah. And today we are discussing Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory 2023. I'm Jez. That's Dan.
Me.
How are you doing, Dan?
I'm all right because I've still got my championship.
You do, yeah. And we'll get to a reason why you're probably going to keep that championship for a little bit longer later. Welcome in, Ali. Jez, there he is. And Dan with a belt, he says. Do people elongate the N in Dan for you very much? Do many people call you Dan or Dan?
Many people do.
Yeah. Is that because you're some kind of diamond geezer?
Yeah, I am.
You're a diamond geezer. Okay.
I'm a diamond geezer.
Maybe you can compete for the Dynamite Diamond Ring next year, and
I'd love to,
and dethrone MJF because no one else is doing it. And if you're the Diamond Geezer, maybe that's your gimmick. You know,
there you go.
You'd be like the new Nigel McGuinness.
Yeah,
the Diamond Geezer.
Yeah,
Daniel Trudgett. Yeah.
Watch out for my AEW debut.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they haven't got enough people on their roster in AEW. What's one more?
You can come and be my manager.
Yeah, Diamond Geezer versus Jez the Squirrel, says Ali. Yeah, I'll come be a manager. I'll be a great manager.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, I can't wait. Okay, well,
right,
all that's required now is for you to learn to wrestle. So get on that, and
I will.
And we'll revisit that soon. But yes, so a few little updates, announcements, or first up, announcement, I guess, is one thing. A few episodes ago, we announced that we would be getting a third member of our team, a third co-host in Matt, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen, and family stuff has got in the way, so it's back to just the two of us, Dan.
Just the two of us.
Yes. Yeah, we can make it if we try. And we will. I know we've made it for 176 episodes. 170 of those have been the both of us. So you know, plus added things. So I think we'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
And we had scheduled episodes to cover WWE Fastlane and New Japan Pro Wrestling Destruction in Ryogoku. But first, I got ill.
Yeah.
So we postponed it, and then you got ill. Yeah. So we're like, well, we can't do a triple today. Like, there's no way we've got the time to do three. So they're done. So much like Money in the Bank earlier this year that we didn't get time for, and we progress forward with Impact Bound for Glory. Predictions coming into this episode.
Yeah.
I am on. Is that right? Yes. After adding in Fastlane and Destruction in Ryogoku, I am on 83. Dan, you are on 85, so ahead by 2. But spoiler alert, this is going to be a very successful episode of the Main Event Podcast for Dan. The most successful, because he will have 100% more points than me, because in my illness, general life malaise, I totally forgot to predict Bound for Glory with our independent adjudicator, Mr. Harmstone. So where Dan gets points, I will not throughout this. So I'm going to be honest. I hope you messed the bed, to be honest, and just got them all wrong. That would be equally hilarious. Yeah. And also to say that we are simultaneously live today on Twitch and YouTube, thanks to Twitch removing their exclusivity clause, and you can broadcast on as many platforms as you like now, which I used to do anyway, so I'm just adding in Twitch at the same time, which is nice. Shall we get on with Bound for Glory?
Yes, we shall.
Okay. it opened with the X Division Championship and a match between the champion Chris Sabin and his challenger Kenta, which is a juicy little opener for this show, if I do say so myself.
Well,
Kick us off.
Why don't you kick us off then?
All right then. Okay. Let's go through the good, the bad, and the ugly of it. I do have more good than anything else, actually. So that's nice. I'll go through the bad to get it out of the way. I didn't really like the layout of this match in terms of it was Chris Sabin getting absolutely no offense at all until all of a sudden he hit a couple of moves and won. It was just it didn't feel earned. It didn't really feel like the kind of back and forth match that we would have liked. I did like the Kenta aspect of it. The goods are Kenta being aggressive. You know, he's really living that new Bullet Club War Dogs mentality, even outside of New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's the same character, and that's consistent, and I like that. Him trying to cheat, putting the feet on the ropes, but getting caught. And I also liked Kenta mocking CM Punk's go to sleep pose. That was nice as well. But yeah, I do feel like this could have been better as a back and forth contest rather than it being Kenta dominating and then just being surprised by the veteran nous of Chris Sabin, really. But, it's not to say I didn't enjoy it, but I feel like it could have been better. What about you?
No, I agree. It was very one-sided, and then the last minute, Sabin came in and just took it. So, yeah,
and you're just looking forward to getting to the juicy bit here, aren't you? Which is that you correctly predicted Chris Sabin would win it. I mean, I would have as well, but it doesn't count. So, I guess you're the ones.
I am the ones, and you can't do anything about it.
No, I will not even be the ones today. It's disappointing.
You'll stay as a donut.
Yeah, I am a donut, and I think that's the best description for not
predicting.
You are. Next up, then, Monsters Ball. Moose versus PCO versus Steve Macklin versus Rhino. I was not expecting to like this match.
Yeah?
But I did.
I enjoyed it as well.
Well, what did you like about it? Let's do it.
A lot of things. So I like that Macklin attacked Rhino before the bell, and then Moose just joined in. Why not? And then PCO actually having his proper entrance.
He didn't get his name announced, though. It was like, wherever he's from in Canada. Oh, they're fighting. I better stop talking. Just say it, dude. You're not getting punched. Just finish the entrance. The announcement.
A lot of PCO being PCO. Getting flung over the ropes onto the ladder. And the ladder actually properly bending and breaking. Looked like it hurt. Then there was Macklin slamming Moose into a trash can in the corner. Macklin swinging a chair and then he missing, bouncing off a rope and hitting him in the face.
I do like when they do that. The whole
it's quite funny.
It's entertaining.
My girlfriend laughed out loud. She did.
That's good. Making a new fan. We like that.
Yep. Deanimate on the ring apron. Lovely. PCO not staying down from Moose's shots. You know, getting kicked, punched, just whatever. He keeps on sitting up and getting up, just like, no. This is what made me laugh when Moose demanded the referee gets that black bag of thumbtacks for him when he's outside the ring and she's inside the ring. And she's like, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. PCO getting powerbombed onto the cinder blocks with the thumbtacks on and then being stuck in the back of his head.
And then hammered into the back of his head with the chair.
Yeah.
They're not quite in enough. Let's get those right in there.
Let's just whack them. And then Bully Ray coming out. Again, pushing Macklin through the table with barbed wire on it. And it kind of looked like a hurt because Macklin didn't really hit the table enough. Kind of went to the side of it.
Yeah.
And then PCO doing the deanimator to both Moose and Rhino and picking up the victory.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty comprehensive list of the things that were good about this match. I will add in that table really wasn't put in the right position for Macklin to go through, and he did land on the legs part of it, which is just no, that was dangerous. We shouldn't be doing that kind of nonsense. And then the only other bad I have is Moose waiting for PCO to senton bomb or whatever he calls it. He and Rhino from the top rope. Moose just basically laid there, even though he was the one that delivered the move and should have just been getting up and carrying on. But in the ugly category, and this deserves a click of the old Moose button. Moose, what the hell were those pajamas, bro? They were ugly. And
ugly.
That's literally, the ugly and the good and the bad and the ugly. But I did not like those pajamas. I felt like they did not fit this match in any way, shape, or form.
Comfortable.
I mean, he was locked in a room for 24 hours before. He's like, I'll just sleep it off. Why not? I've got nothing else to do. So, pajamas.
Can I just say, trying to explain this match to my girlfriend was hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think they do a very good job of explaining the concept of Monsters Ball anymore. I think they just expect you to know from historical context what it is. But I like to be told, like, no, they were locked in this room 24 hours ago without food or water, with the lights off, and now they're being released and they go straight to the ring for the match. And I feel like they should be a bit more disheveled as well.
Yeah, they should be more disheveled.
Like, get their hair out of place and,
Yeah.
Maybe they shouldn't even be in ring gear. I don't know. I mean, Moose wasn't. Moose turned up in his pajamas, so...
Well, Rhino had obviously been in his ring gear for 24 hours straight.
I think Rhino's been in his ring gear since 2001, though, so...
They must stink.
Like, even when he ran for mayor, I'm pretty sure he was just in his ring gear.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. Maybe Kane wouldn't be such a useless mayor if he still wore his mask. Who knows?
Yeah.
Predictions. You went for Moose.
Yeah.
I went for nothing.
Nobody.
But I don't think I would have gone for PCO because of the state of PCO at that stage, contract-wise, was that he was winding down with Impact Wrestling and would not be there for much longer, so I wouldn't have expected him to win.
No.
But the last final good is that PCO has signed with Impact Wrestling and will remain.
We'll
Even better, in his announcement of that on Twitter, don't know if you saw this, I replied with the immortal hashtag that we use all the time on the Main Event podcast, hashtag PCO for World Champ.
Yep.
And PCO retweeted it.
Yeah, baby.
Or whatever you call that on X now. Re-Xing. He's just making life difficult, isn't he, by changing the name. Like, it's Twitter, and he retweeted it. And PCO's amazing. PCO for World Champ.
Yes.
So you'll stay as the ones.
Yep.
To cut a long story short. Next match. Impact World Tag Team Championship, The Rascals versus ABC. The Ace and Bay Club. I don't have a terrible amount to say about this match from any point of view, really.
No.
The only good I could pick out of it was that it was a super fast-paced match.
Yeah, I've got the speed,
Like, between these two teams, you would expect that, but it was nice to actually see it. And I have one bad, which just was like, and I don't want to channel my inner Bret Hart about complaining about people standing outside the ring and waiting to be landed on. But when the Rascals were outside the ring, Zachary Wentz held on to Trey Miguel and did this weird head tapping thing with him and was just waiting for Ace Austin to jump out on them, and he kept looking. He's like, oh no, he's not coming yet. I guess I'll just keep hugging my partner and standing weirdly outside the ring. He's still not coming. Oh, there he is. Here we go. And we're down. I just I hate that stuff. Like not getting the timing right on that kind of thing. I just don't like it, and I don't know whose fault it was. Probably everyone's, but it was bad.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I've got the same. Just I've got that the camera men were a bit rubbish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they kept on like. Well, it probably wasn't the cameramen. It was the people.
The producer choosing the shots. Yeah.
Yeah, they kept on like going to shots of like the cameraman moving around the ring where the camera's pointing at like the ring apron or something stupid like that. It's like, sort your lives out, man.
Yeah, well, this is an oft complained thing with Impact Wrestling, isn't it? And apparently they are working on improving it, and they've even got some new cameras as of January and some new tech, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, it wasn't just in this match, actually. There were a few random things. Like I think it was in the women's match. I think they were looking at Naomi on the top rope, and then she did a leg drop off the rope, and they were just still looking at this empty turnbuckle instead of following the action. I'm like, it's like, is this your first day? What is this?
Sort your lives out.
It's just not. It's not even basic producing. Like you follow, you go to the angle where the things are happening. It's not rocket science. But there you go. A bit of a nothing match, unfortunately. But I do like the outcome.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's not what you predicted, and it prevents you from scoring yet more points on poor old me. You went for the Rascals. They lost. You're still the ones.
I'm still the ones.
Just keep throwing that one up.
Don't mind that. I'm acknowledging.
Next up, Will Ospreay versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Oof.
Gotta love a bit of Will Ospreay.
Yes, I've seen Will Ospreay live twice this year now.
Yeah, right.
Because in the interceding time between our last episode and this one, I went to see New Japan Pro Wrestling at the Copper Box in London.
Yeah.
Which was my second Will Ospreay experience of the year. Will Ospreay's great. And we'll see where he ends up next year in this great contract bidding war that apparently is happening with no company off limits now. So, yeah, tasty. Anyway, this match, you can kick us off. What did you think?
Great match. Great match. I think these two both, well, Will Ospreay is always great than what he's saying. And I think Mike Bailey, I think he kind of brought another level of his ability to this match.
Yeah.
Which it made him look amazing. Made them both look amazing.
It's interesting that Mike Bailey, he's obviously of that junior heavyweight, X division, cruiserweight, whatever you want to call it, size and style. But there are certain opponents with whom he can pull it out of the bag and kind of step up to that heavyweight kind of level while maintaining his speed and all of that. Will Ospreay is one of them. But even in that stupidly long match he had with Josh Alexander, either earlier this year or last year, I think it might have been earlier this year. So, yeah, it's just a shame he's got that stupid mullet. You can't take him seriously. Right. Get a haircut, and maybe you'll get a world championship to go with it.
My girlfriend, and I've got this in my notes, when Bailey was doing something, I don't know, she just shouted at the screen, "Power of the mullet!"
There you go.
Like, okay.
Yeah. God help if she sees a Dominic Mysterio match then with that mullet that he's got. The old.
She has
the Eddie Guerrero mullet that he's got going on.
She has. She quite likes Dominic Mysterio, just because she likes how much of a rude word he is.
Cool. She likes the heels.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Don't we all? Back to this match then. Anything else that you liked?
Just everything, really. There was a few nods to AJ Styles in there. We had the phenomenal forearm, and we had the Styles Clash. Great. All the different moves, just everything I loved.
Yeah, I've got just generally all of it is my opening good, because it was difficult to pick out key moments that were good. It just generally flowed from one thing to the next really well. The only other things that I have specifics, the insultingly kicking speedball Mike Bailey by Will Ospreay when he kind of flopped out of the hidden blade attempt. I'm like, oh, you're playing the heel in this, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. That's a little bit kind of schizophrenic, because he's a babyface in New Japan and seems to be a heel everywhere else. Certainly has been a heel in AEW. But there you go. And it wasn't the last hidden blade, but it was one of the last ones that just looked absolutely insane, and that he'd taken Mike Bailey's head off.
Yeah.
I shouted very loudly, like it was a good look. But
could we possibly say this could be a match of the year?
I would be less convinced by that personally.
Yeah.
I think it would have needed more standout specific things to be considered that. It wasn't a bad match. It was a very good match, but at the same time, it was fairly standard Will Ospreay fare.
Yeah.
I don't think Will Ospreay really brought another level. I think it was just Will Ospreay's standard awesomeness.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't say a match of the year candidate personally.
No.
But probably the best match on this card. I would say. And maybe the best match of the year from an Impact Wrestling point of view.
Yeah.
Potentially. But no. I mean, I can't pick out any other match of the year candidates off the top of my head. That will come as we move towards Christmas and reviewing the year. But not for me, I don't think.
Yeah.
Predictions, or prediction, I should say. You went for Will Ospreay. Congratulations. You finally move off 1.
Thank you.
And move to 2. There you go. Another match that I was like, I'm not going to enjoy this, but I really did.
Yeah.
The Call Your Shot Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Basically a mini Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And I really liked it.
I enjoyed it, yeah.
I have a lot of goods and only one bad. And the bad isn't even really about the match. It's about a person in it. And I'll get that out of the way now.
Go on.
Jake something.
Yeah.
He's too good for his crap gimmick. Like, your gimmick is that nobody knows your name. I don't really understand how that helps you get over. Like, could you just get a normal, decent gimmick, and then you could probably, run the company, to be honest. Like, because in ring, great. Like, charisma, great. Name, gimmick, what? So, it just annoyed it. It annoyed the hell out of me to see him in this match and going, what's my name? I know it's not a new thing, but it's like, mate, this isn't getting over.
Yeah.
And you need to ditch it. Anyway, the goods. Here we go. I liked that it was a mixed match. I know it's always been mixed, but I like that, you're fighting for an opportunity of any of the championships. So it makes sense that the women are in there as well, because they have their own opportunities to go for.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever expected to say this in my life, but I enjoyed Bully Ray dancing. That was highly entertaining.
I'm going to put that on your gravestone.
Sunny Kiss substituting for Devon.
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah.
Joe Hendry doing the clap beat of his music by chopping Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
Because his music stopped, the crowd kept singing, and they were, I believe in Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry.
It was great. And I'll hit the button because,
Yeah.
Because we love Joe Hendry. That was awesome. Dirty Dango being eliminated immediately.
Yeah.
I know that was a Santino Marella booking choice. after his quick elimination from the Royal Rumble years ago. Matt Cardona eliminating Brian Myers, like playing that heel.
Yeah.
I've got a question mark at the end of this one because I don't know if it's good, but I think it's good. Jordynne Grace winning clean over Bully Ray.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense from an actual looking at the two of them point of view, but kudos for Bully Ray for letting it happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It was actually a decent battle royal. I was
very
a decent
battle royal,
yeah. Anything that you would like to add into that?
No, not really.
No. Okay. Do you remember who you went for in this match?
I went for Kazarian, didn't I?
You did, yeah. So no point for you.
Yeah.
Annoyingly, as I was watching this at the beginning of the match, I was like, yeah. So I'm gonna go for either Bully Ray, Jordynne Grace, or there was someone else. But that final four, I had three of them, and I'm like, great. Not getting any points here, but I would have done.
You want to know something?
What?
You forgot to predict. So.
You know what? I forgot that I forgot to predict as well. So
yeah.
The semi-main event.
Yeah.
Knockouts World Championship. Trinity versus Mickie James. Over to you.
To be honest, I felt this was a bit sloppy.
I wasn't all that impressed with it.
No.
If we're being honest.
I thought it didn't look very good. Looked a bit sloppy. Looked like they should have gone to the Performance Center.
Yeah. I've only got goods, but I don't have many of them.
No.
It was decent enough overall, but there was no standout moments. It was completely lacking in standout moments, and that's not in the same way as the Will Ospreay match earlier.
No.
It was just pretty. Yeah, you had a match. Good for you.
Yeah,
it was strange. I liked the technical start to it with the back and forth pins. I was like, okay, we're on to something here. They're going to have a technical style match, and both going to show off their wrestling prowess. But it never really happened, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'd even go so far to say it was a match that happened.
Yeah,
which is the semi-main event is highly disappointing.
Yeah, especially with like Mickie James in it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not like either of these are are rookies. They've been doing it for years. There's some barrier between the two of them that means they don't work well together. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
But there you go. At least for you, it did result in a point. You correctly predicted Trinity for the win, and that takes you to 3. Yeah. Well done. Congratulations. I'm not bitter at all. Main event. Impact World Championship. Alex Shelley versus Josh Alexander. Let's do the predictions first, because I want to know your thinking. I would not have predicted Alex Shelley in this, so I wouldn't have been getting a point here regardless. But you did.
Yeah.
Why?
So I'm up to 4. I was really tossing and turning between Shelley and Alexander, because I was like, is Josh gonna get it back? This seems to be a recurring thing with him. He wins the title, he injures himself, comes back, wins the title, gets injured, comes back, wins the title, And I was like, are they going to do it again? Are they going to do it? So I kind of just went, no, they can't do it for like a third time or whatever it is. So I'm going to go with Shelley. That's what I did.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I asked this looking at the result, the match, how that story played out, and I think it was the right choice with the story that Alex Shelley himself wasn't, fully convinced that he was a worthy Impact World Champion and needed to beat Josh Alexander, arguably the best Impact World Champion in history, to really cement that. And then doing so, that was a good story, and I think it was booked very well. But I'd really just thought, no, they were going to treat Shelley like the transitional champion and move back onto Josh Alexander and go back, pick up where they left off there. But no, fair enough.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you. Yes, you will end this show on 4, which I will say is not the end of the world. I can live with that.
No, but there was another match advertised, wasn't there? And that was for the Knockouts tag team, and that was a dark match, wasn't it?
That wasn't even on the pre-show. Yeah.
No, it was a dark match. I had to look afterwards. I looked on Wikipedia, and it had the dark.
The D next to it.
Yeah, it was 1D, and I would have got an extra point with that as well.
Well, if it's not on television, it didn't happen. So there you go. Finally, then, let's get the good, the bad, and the ugly for this main event out of the way. Mixed for me. I've got equal number of good and bad. Starting with the good, I liked the massive chops by Josh Alexander, especially the ones outside the ring.
Yeah.
Conversely, the huge slaps to the face and like the side of the neck that Alex Shelley did in retaliation. It was just generally a hard striking, strong style match.
Yeah.
And I dug the hard hitting aspect of it.
Yeah.
Bad. It started a little slow for me. It didn't really kick off for the longest time. Just generally, there was something lacking from this match. It wasn't bad. I don't really know what it was, but I just don't think this was either of these guys' best matches or even close to. And for the main event of Bound for Glory, like there has to be another level there that you tap into.
Yeah,
and they just didn't. And then finally, pet peeve again. Josh Alexander shimmying closer to the turnbuckle for the frog splash. Like, if he can't make it, then he should not do the move. Don't shimmy towards him. Like, it's too late. Looks terrible. Suspends my disbelief and all that. Yeah. Anything to add?
No.
Okay. Let's do the final predictions before we move into our final discussion then. Unsurprisingly, things look identical for me, and I will stay on 83.
What a surprise.
But with your 4 on, you will move to 89.
Yeah.
So you've got a lead.
Yeah.
But it's not insurmountable. And we've still got a lot of wrestling to go before Survivor Series. But there you go. Our final discussion before we rate this show. Right at the end of this event, they had a lovely, well-produced video package to announce that Impact Wrestling is rebranding back to TNA.
Yeah.
What do you think of this news?
I think great.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that the kind of, the juvenile schoolgirl kid kind of giggles about TNA, it stands for tits and ass. Like,
oh yeah,
I would hope that is kind of behind us in 2023, and I know that there will be an element that will still do that.
Yeah,
but it's pretty difficult to chant Impact Wrestling.
Yeah,
and I often watch NXT, looking at what is basically the old Impact Zone audience, because it's just across the street really from where Soundstage 21 was for Impact Wrestling and where the Performance Center is, and thinking, these guys chant NXT regardless of whether it's good or not, because NXT has not been good for quite some time really, as far as I'm concerned. And so if you really want to put some oomph back into Impact Wrestling, then give the crowd something that they can get behind and chant. I really like the conversation that came from it afterwards about how Impact Wrestling, TNA, is like a family.
Yeah.
And that they're all, in it together. The video package really spoke to that as well.
Yeah.
So, I like the move. I do like that TNA is going to be the name of the company. The weekly TV show will still be called Impact. That makes more sense. That made sense in the beginning. So, I think it's a wholly positive move. And I do think, on the most part, it has been met positively by the fan base.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, well, it's going to be crap regardless because Anthem is still in charge, and there's an argument to be made there. But I think it's a positive move.
Yeah, and on a belt side of it, so I'm a belt guy, they've already got all the new TNA branded belts at the ready to go, so they're all set, really.
Yeah, they'll debut those at Hard to Kill in January when they officially change the name back again.
Yeah.
And I hope from that standpoint that it's not just the same as the ones they've got now, but they've changed it to TNA. I hope it's
new designs.
I hope it's new designs, or at the very least, kind of similar to the old TNA World Championship that I've got, because I think that is one of the nicest designs that's been in a long time. It's got big gold belt vibes, but with the TNA logo on it, looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about it when they release them. It'll be part of our Hard to Kill discussion in January, I'm sure. But we've got a long way to go until January, even though it is close chronologically. But there'll be a lot of wrestling in the time between. So with all that in mind, I think there's only one system that we can use to rate this show.
Yeah.
So today, Dan, I ask you to give me a rating for Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory 2023 out of 5 TNA chants.
Yeah.
TNA.
I actually enjoyed this pay-per-view. Quite a bit, which surprised me. Well, not quite a bit. So I'm going to give it a 3.
I think 3's fair. Yeah. I mean, it's not at the level of when we first started covering Impact Wrestling on this podcast. Those first few events that we covered for Impact Wrestling in early 2021 were top notch, and they had some excellent matches and 2 very clear match of the year candidates. I don't think we're back at that level. I really don't. But I do think it was decent, and I think 3 is probably fair. I do. It was a solid event, but it wasn't spectacular. It wasn't at that, WrestleMania, Wrestle Kingdom, whatever AEW's flagship is. Double or Nothing, is that their main one? I don't even know.
I don't know what it is anymore.
Whatever they think is their flagship, I don't even think it's at that level. So I think 3 is fair.
Yeah,
I do think 3 is fair. So we'll go with that. And that is our show. Thank you, Tamsin, for dropping in a comment at the end. But we're out of here.
Bye.
we did start a little bit early, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I'll just go back to what I was doing then. Well, come back next week, because next week it's NXT Halloween Havoc.
Yeah,
2 weeks of it. There's already been one, and we know a bit
you
about
get
that.
to rant about NXT.
Yeah. Well, I haven't watched this week's yet, so I don't know if it was any good. Maybe I'll rant. Maybe I won't.
To be disappointed.
You'll have to find out by tuning in live to the Main Event podcast next week.
Yeah.
That is what they call in the business a tease.
Yes.
And I am the ultimate tease. I've been Jazz.
I've been Dan.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.